The transport ship, Unity, moved through the dark space between stars. Dr. Ben Torres sat in his small cabin, looking out at the strange purple glow of hyperspace. His hands shook a little as he held his research tablet. Tomorrow he would set foot on an alien world for the first time in his life. Ben was not a soldier or a diplomat. He was a scientist who studied how energy moved through living things. 3 months ago, Earth's government had chosen him for this mission. The alien empire called Valeth controlled the most important space routes in the galaxy. Without their permission, human ships could not travel to new worlds. But the Valethians had a problem. Their princess was dying from a strange sickness. Earth's leaders hoped that maybe human science could help. If Ben could save the princess, maybe the Valethians would become friends with humanity. The ship's captain, Maria Santos, came to his door. "We will arrive in 6 hours," she said. "Are you ready?" Ben nodded, but he felt nervous. He had studied everything Earth knew about Valethian biology. Their bodies were made of living crystal that could conduct energy like metal wires. They were tall and thin, with silver skin that glowed softly in the dark. Most importantly, their society had strict rules about touching. No alien had ever been allowed to touch a member of their royal family. "What if I cannot help her?" Ben asked. Captain Santos put her hand on his shoulder. "You are the best energy scientist on Earth. If anyone can figure this out, it is you." The planet Valeth appeared on the view screen as a ball of blue and white light. Its surface was covered in crystal cities that sparkled like diamonds. The ship landed at the royal spaceport, where tall guards in golden armor waited. The guards escorted Ben and Captain Santos through corridors made of living crystal. The walls pulsed with soft light that moved like slow lightning. Ben had never seen anything so beautiful. The Valethians they passed were indeed tall and elegant, with skin that shifted from silver to pale blue as they moved. They entered a vast throne room with a ceiling that reached up into darkness. On a crystal throne sat Queen Vex, the ruler of the Valethian Empire. She was 8 feet tall with long white hair and eyes like stars. Beside her stood King Nolan, who looked at the humans with suspicion. "So," Queen Vex said, her voice echoing in the chamber, "Earth sends us a healer." Ben stepped forward and bowed. "Your Majesty, I am Dr. Ben Torres. I study how energy flows through living beings. I hope I can help your daughter." The Queen's expression was cold. "Many have tried to heal Princess Kira. Our greatest doctors, scientists from 12 different worlds, energy masters who have studied for centuries. All have failed. What makes you think a human can succeed where they could not?" "I do not know if I can help," Ben said honestly. "But human understanding of bioelectric energy is different from other species. We might see something others have missed." King Nolan spoke for the first time. "You understand that our laws forbid any alien from touching a member of the royal bloodline? You may observe and suggest treatments, but you cannot make physical contact with our daughter." Ben's heart sank. Everything he knew about energy healing required touch. He could not diagnose energy problems without feeling the flow patterns in a patient's body, but he nodded. "I understand, Your Majesty." The royal family led him through more crystal corridors to the medical wing of the palace. The walls here were white crystal that hummed with a low, sad sound. Ben realized the entire building was alive and responding to the sickness within it. They entered a room where Princess Kira lay on a bed made of smooth blue crystal. Ben gasped when he saw her. The princess was dying. Her silver skin had turned gray and dull. Dark veins of some kind of corruption spread across her face and arms. She breathed in short, painful gasps, and her body shook with tremors. Around her bed stood 6 Valethian doctors, their hands glowing as they tried to channel healing energy into her body. But Ben could see immediately that their efforts were making things worse. The chaotic energy patterns in the princess were fighting against their healing attempts. "How long has she been like this?" Ben asked. 3 months, Queen Vex said, her voice breaking slightly. The sickness appeared suddenly. First she complained of headaches. Then her skin began to change. Now she barely recognizes us. Ben walked around the bed, studying the energy patterns he could see flickering under the princess's skin. They looked familiar somehow. He had seen similar patterns before, but where? "Tell me about when the sickness started," he said. "What was happening that day?" King Nolan frowned. "There was an attack by the Keth Empire on our border worlds. Kira was in the palace's communication center, coordinating our response. She collapsed at her station. Suddenly Ben understood. The attack, was it some kind of energy weapon? Yes, the Queen said. A new type of weapon we had never seen before. It created massive electromagnetic pulses that destroyed our ship's systems. Ben's mind raced. He had studied electromagnetic interference patterns in his research. The chaotic energy in the princess looked exactly like the interference patterns created by certain types of weapons, but this was not destroying machines. It was destroying her living crystal body from the inside. Your Majesty, Ben said carefully, I believe the princess was exposed to a bioelectric weapon. The Keth Empire has found a way to use electromagnetic interference to disrupt Valethian nervous systems. The doctors around the bed looked shocked. Impossible, one of them said. No such weapon exists. It does now, Ben said grimly. And it is specifically designed to target your species' energy patterns. That is why your healing techniques are not working. You are trying to restore normal patterns, but the weapon creates chaos that fights against any attempt to impose order. Queen Vex stepped closer to her daughter's bed. If you are correct, how do we stop it? Ben looked at the dying princess and made a decision that would change everything. Human bioelectric patterns are different from yours. We do not conduct energy the same way. We might be able to provide a stabilizing frequency that could counteract the weapon's effects. You are suggesting that a human touch could heal her? King Nolan asked in disbelief. I am saying it is possible, Ben replied. But I would need to make physical contact to know for sure. The throne room erupted in shocked whispers. The idea of an alien touching their sacred princess was unthinkable to most Valethians. Some of the guards moved their hands to their weapons. Queen Vex looked at her dying daughter, then at Ben. Our laws exist for good reasons. The royal bloodline must remain pure. With respect, Your Majesty, Ben said, purity will not matter if the princess dies. For long minutes, the only sound in the room was Princess Kira's labored breathing. Finally, Queen Vex spoke. If you are wrong, if you harm her in any way, you will die slowly and painfully. I understand, Ben said. And if you are right? King Nolan asked. Then maybe we can save not just your daughter, but everyone else who might be targeted by this weapon. The Queen closed her eyes and took a deep breath. When she opened them, they were filled with desperate hope. Do it. Ben approached the bed slowly. The Valethian doctors stepped back, their faces showing mixtures of curiosity and horror. The guards tensed, ready to strike him down if anything went wrong. Princess Kira's eyes fluttered open as Ben knelt beside her bed. Up close, he could see the chaotic energy patterns racing through her crystal skin like trapped lightning. Her eyes were clouded with pain, but she seemed to recognize that something important was happening. Princess, Ben said softly, I'm going to try to help you. This might feel strange. She tried to speak but could only make a soft sound. Ben looked up at Queen Vex one last time. The Queen nodded. Ben reached out and gently placed his palm on Princess Kira's forehead. The effect was immediate and stunning. The moment human skin touched alien crystal, brilliant blue light erupted from the point of contact. The light spread across the princess's skin like water, washing away the gray corruption and restoring her natural silver glow. Everyone in the room gasped and stepped back. The chaotic energy patterns that had been tearing the princess apart suddenly began to slow and stabilize. The dark veins on her skin faded away like shadows before dawn. But Ben was not finished. He could feel the weapon's energy fighting against his touch, trying to maintain its destructive pattern. He pressed his other hand to the princess's chest over her heart. More light flowed from his hands, and the princess's breathing became deeper and more regular. Impossible, whispered one of the doctors. The corruption in Princess Kira's body was retreating before the stabilizing influence of human bioelectric energy. Ben's nervous system, evolved on a world without natural energy fields, was acting like an anchor point that the chaotic patterns could not disrupt. After what felt like hours but was probably only minutes, the light faded. Ben lifted his hands and stepped back. Princess Kira lay on the bed, her skin restored to its full silver radiance. Her breathing was calm and steady. Her eyes were clear and bright. She sat up slowly and looked around the room with wonder. Mother, father, I feel like myself again. Queen Vex rushed to her daughter's side, tears of joy streaming down her face. Kira, my dear daughter. The princess embraced her mother, then looked at Ben with curiosity and gratitude. You are the human who healed me? Ben nodded, still amazed at what had just happened. Your Highness, I am Dr. Ben Torres. You saved my life, she said simply. How can I ever repay such a gift? Before Ben could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the palace. A guard rushed into the room and knelt before the Queen. Your Majesty, we are receiving emergency signals from the outer worlds. The Kith Empire has launched a massive attack. They are using the same energy weapons on civilian populations. Millions are dying. Ben felt his blood turn cold. The weapon that had nearly killed Princess Kira was being used as a weapon of mass destruction. Entire worlds full of Valethians were suffering the same agonizing death he had just prevented. Queen Vex turned to him with desperate hope in her eyes. Dr. Torres, if human touch can heal this weapon's effects, will you help us save our people? Ben looked at Princess Kira, fully healed and alive, then at the royal family who had trusted him with their most precious treasure. There was only one answer he could give. Yes, Your Majesty, let us save them all. The emergency meeting took place in the palace's war room, a circular chamber with walls made of transparent crystal. Through them, Ben could see the night sky filled with Valethian ships launching toward the outer worlds. Each point of light represented a rescue mission racing against time. Princess Kira had insisted on attending the meeting, despite her recent recovery. She sat beside her parents, looking stronger with each passing hour. The human healing effects seemed to be permanent, completely reversing the weapon's damage. Show him the reports, Queen Vex commanded. A hologram appeared in the center of the room, displaying a three-dimensional map of Valethian space. Red dots marked worlds under attack by the Keth Empire. Ben counted at least 20 planets, each containing millions of people. The attacks began 6 hours ago, explained Admiral Rex, the military commander. The Keth forces are using ships equipped with the same energy weapons that affected Princess Kira. They target population centers and release massive electromagnetic pulses. Within minutes, every Valethian in the affected area begins to die. Ben studied the tactical display. How many people are we talking about? 50 million so far, the Admiral said grimly. And the number grows every hour. Our medical ships cannot reach them fast enough, and even if they could, we have no way to treat this condition. Princess Kira leaned forward. Dr. Torres, when you healed me, I felt your energy patterns. They were completely different from ours. Like a calm center in the middle of a storm. Could other humans do the same thing? Ben thought carefully. In theory, yes. All humans have similar bioelectric signatures. But there are only about 50 humans in this part of space, and most of them are on Earth. King Nolan spoke up. Could we bring more humans here quickly? Not fast enough, Ben said. It would take weeks to transport enough people from Earth, even using your fastest ships. By then, millions more will have died. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed this harsh reality. Ben's mind raced, trying to think of alternatives. There had to be a way to use his discovery to help more people. What if we could amplify the effect somehow? He asked suddenly. Princess Kira, when I touched you, did you feel my bioelectric pattern spreading through your body? Yes, she said. It felt like waves of calm energy washing away the chaos. Ben turned to the Valethian scientist present. Do you have technology that can record and broadcast bioelectric signatures? Dr. Zane, the chief medical researcher, nodded slowly. We have neural pattern amplifiers used for long-distance healing. But they only work with Valethian energy signatures. What if we modified them to work with human patterns? Ben asked. The scientists exchanged glances. It might be possible, Dr. Zane said. But we would need a stable human energy source to calibrate the equipment. Ben stood up. You have one. Use me. Queen Vex looked alarmed. Dr. Torres, we do not know what effect such a procedure might have on your body. You could be seriously injured or killed. Your Majesty, millions of your people are dying right now, Ben replied. I am willing to take the risk. Princess Kira also stood. I will help. I understand both the human healing pattern and our own biology better than anyone now. Together, we might be able to create a solution. Over the next 4 hours, Ben worked with the best Valethian scientists to modify their neural amplifiers. The process was complex and dangerous. They had to map his entire bioelectric signature and figure out how to broadcast it without losing the stabilizing frequency that made it effective. Ben lay on a crystal table, while dozens of sensors attached to his body recorded every electrical impulse in his nervous system. The process was exhausting, and he could feel his energy being drained with each scan. We are getting excellent readings, Dr. Zane reported. Your bioelectric pattern is remarkably stable and uniform. Most species have chaotic variations, but humans seem to maintain a consistent frequency. Princess Kira monitored the readings from her own medical bed, where sensors tracked how her recently healed body responded to different aspects of Ben's pattern. The key seems to be this low-frequency pulse, she said, pointing to a waveform on the display. It acts like a metronome that forces chaotic energy to synchronize. After countless tests and modifications, they had a working prototype. The neural amplifier could now broadcast a simplified version of Ben's healing frequency, but they had no way to test it except on actual patients. There is another problem, Admiral Rex announced as he entered the laboratory. Our scout ships report that the Keth Empire is preparing for a massive final assault. They plan to hit the core worlds, including Veleth itself, in 12 hours. They want to wipe out our entire civilization. Ben felt the weight of responsibility crushing down on him. Not only did they need to heal the people already affected, but they had to do it before the Keth could complete their genocide. How many amplifiers can we build in 12 hours? He asked. With every factory in the Empire working at maximum capacity, maybe 50, Dr. Zane said. That is not nearly enough, Queen Vex said despairingly. We need hundreds to cover all the affected worlds. Ben had an idea, but it was incredibly risky. What if we networked the amplifiers together? Created a chain that could boost the signal across multiple star systems? The power requirements would be enormous, Dr. Zane said, and the human providing the source pattern would have to maintain the connection for hours. The strain could kill them. Ben looked around the room at all the faces depending on him. I will do it. No, Princess Kira said firmly. It is too dangerous. Let me help share the load. You cannot broadcast a human pattern, Ben explained. But I can help stabilize it, she replied. I have been exposed to your healing energy. I still carry traces of it in my system. If we link our bioelectric patterns together, we might be able to create a more powerful and stable signal. The scientists spent the next 6 hours building a network of 50 neural amplifiers connected by quantum communication links. Each amplifier was loaded onto a fast ship and sent to a different world. Ben and Princess Kira would remain on Veleth, serving as the source of the healing pattern. As dawn broke over the crystal cities of Veleth, they were ready to begin. Ben and Princess Kira lay on connected medical tables in the center of the amplifier array. Hundreds of sensors monitored their vital signs while the most powerful transmitters in the galaxy prepared to broadcast their combined bioelectric pattern across dozens of star systems. Are you ready? Dr. Zane asked. Ben looked at Princess Kira, who nodded bravely. Begin the transmission, he said. The moment the amplifiers activated, Ben felt as if his soul was being stretched across the galaxy. His consciousness expanded beyond his body, touching the minds and bodies of millions of suffering Velethians. He could feel their pain, their fear, their hope. Through the quantum link, his healing frequency raced to 50 different worlds. On each planet, the local amplifier picked up his signal and broadcast it across the affected populations. Ben felt the moment when his energy pattern touched the first patient, then the second, then thousands more. The chaotic energy weapon that had seemed unstoppable began to crumble before the stabilizing influence of human bioelectric patterns. Across the galaxy, gray-skinned Velethians opened their eyes as their natural silver glow returned. Children who had been dying in their parents' arms sat up and smiled. Elderly Velethians who had collapsed in the streets stood up and walked home. But the strain on Ben was enormous. His body shook with exhaustion as he tried to maintain the connection to all 50 amplifiers simultaneously. His heart rate spiked and warning alarms began sounding around his medical table. Princess Kira reached out and took his hand. The moment their fingers touched, her own bioelectric pattern joined the transmission. The load on Ben's system decreased immediately as she helped stabilize the network. It is working, Dr. Zane reported excitedly. We are receiving confirmation from all 50 worlds. The healing effect is spreading faster than we hoped. For 3 hours, Ben and Princess Kira maintained the transmission, while Velethian medical teams confirmed the healing across dozens of star systems. The Keth weapon, designed to be the ultimate biological warfare tool, was being systematically neutralized by human compassion and Velethian determination working together. Finally, Admiral Rex entered the laboratory with tears of joy in his eyes. It is over, he announced. Every affected world reports complete recovery. 50 million people have been healed. Ben felt the amplifier network powering down as the transmission ended. He was so exhausted he could barely move. But he felt an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. They had done the impossible. Queen Vex and King Nolan entered the laboratory and knelt beside his medical table. "Dr. Torres," the Queen said, "you have saved our entire civilization. How can we ever repay this debt?" "There is no debt," Ben replied weakly. "We are all part of the same galaxy. We should help each other." Princess Kira squeezed his hand. "The Keth Empire expected us to fall within days. Instead, they face a galaxy united against them. Word of what happened here is already spreading to other species." Over the following weeks, as Ben recovered his strength, he learned the full impact of what they had accomplished. The Keth Empire's supposedly unstoppable weapon had been defeated not by superior firepower, but by the unique properties of human biology and the courage of people willing to risk everything for others. The Galactic Council, which had previously ignored humanity as a minor species, invited Earth to send representatives to their governing assembly. The Valethian Empire offered a permanent alliance, sharing their advanced technology in exchange for human expertise in bioelectric healing. Most importantly, the Healing Amplifier Network became a permanent installation. Ben trained other humans to operate the system, creating the galaxy's first interspecies medical response team. Whenever biological weapons or energy-based diseases appeared anywhere in known space, human healers could respond within hours. On his last day on Valeth, Ben stood in the palace garden with Princess Kira, watching the sunset paint the crystal spires in shades of gold and red. Ships from dozens of different species filled the sky, all coming to learn about the miraculous human healing techniques. "You know," Princess Kira said thoughtfully, "when I was dying, I thought I would never see another sunset. Now I get to see them with my own eyes, knowing that millions of others across the galaxy are doing the same because of your courage." Ben smiled, feeling more proud than he had ever felt in his life. "We did it together, humans and Valethians working as partners. The beginning of something wonderful," she agreed. "A galaxy where differences make us stronger, not weaker." As the stars appeared in the darkening sky, Ben knew that humanity had found its place among them. Not as conquerors or merchants, but as healers. Wherever suffering existed, wherever biological weapons threatened innocent lives, human touch would be there to bring hope and healing. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly as it should be.